the saddest, most It starts off with Carl Fredricksen meeting Ellie for the first time as children. Then it flashes quickly into their marriage ceremony. Then their happy life together. It then becomes more tragic as Ellie learns that she can't conceive and start a family with Carl. They instead decide to plan a big excursion to South America, a place that they have always wanted to explore. But they were never able to hold on to any savings for long. Before they knew it, frail, and unfortunately it ends with Carl alone and depressed, without his beloved Ellie. Pretty sad, right? Then why didn't Andy's family attend the funeral? I'll explain. In a deleted scene in the trailer to Toy Story 3, you can actually spot a postcard from Carl and Ellie in Andy's room. In the movie itself, you can find a similar postcard in the house. So Andy's family were friends with the Fredricksens by the time Andy was college-aged. So they were close enough to send letters to each other. Yet, when you try to look for any people that even vaguely resemble the Toy Story family in the funeral shot, you come up short. As Pixar is known for their attention to detail, this cannot be a simple misstep. Why even bother to insert that Easter egg into Toy Story 3 at all? We can only conclude the messed up truth about Andy's family. They never really cared about Carl and Ellie. Dun 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 dun. What sociopaths? We're sure Andy called them junk too. We give Sid such a hard time, but we should be looking out for the true maniacs of this franchise. Woody Buzz and Company were lucky to have moved on to another owner, but let us hope that Bonnie does not turn out to be as shamelessly cruel as Andy or his family. So, we've learned some pretty messed up Pixar secrets. What are your thoughts, though? Do we sound insane? Let us know in the comments section.
SCP-173. 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 I think that's right, let's have a look. Oh, it's Peanut. Yeah, 173. Cool. Oh. This one is gonna be... What one would this be? What SCP would this become? This one would be... Where is he? This one. This one here. This is the one here, buddy.
Disney presents itself as so innocent, and that just makes our imaginations run wild and wonder what dark secrets may lie beneath the fun surface that is Disney. Today, we're going to be taking a look at some of our favorites. Hold on now, before we get started, subscribe to our channel. You'll be joining the notification squad and get frequent updates on brand new content. And one more thing, why not take a part in our emoji quiz? Can you guess what film these emojis are showing off? Wait to the end to find out. Frozen. Frozen probably has the most long-winded fan theory on this list, so we're gonna give it to you straight. Some Disney fans believe that Tangled and Frozen are pretty tightly linked. Director Jennifer Lee confirmed that when Elsa's parents' ship was capsized, they were heading to a wedding. Seeing as Rapunzel and Eugene are seen arriving at Elsa's coronation, and considering they're from Germany, we can only assume that they were specifically invited. This has led fans to believe that Elsa's parents, the king and queen, died whilst on a voyage to Rapunzel's wedding. The theory goes a little further, though, as if they'd capsized halfway to Germany from Scandinavia, they would be right around Atlantica, the home of Ariel.
280, 280, SCP-280, SCP-80. SCP-2.
This doesn't stop fans from linking the movies together, something we'll talk about more later. Princess Jasmine, you're very magnificent.
0.
Aladdin. A great deal of the genie's dialogue in Aladdin came from ad-libs of the great comedian Robin Williams. Robin's tendency to go off on strange tangents and make strange references informed a lot of the genie's bizarre and seemingly impossible pop culture references. The first line spoken by the genie is iconic. 10,000 years will give you such a crick in the neck. Yet, despite him being locked away for 10,000 years and being awoken in what is seemingly the pre-Crusades Middle East, so how on earth does he know all of these pop culture references? Well, barring the possibility that the genie is simply omniscient, we can only assume that Aladdin takes place 10,000 years in the future. One popular theory is that Agrabah is actually a nation post-apocalypse. It's one of the only ways to explain the genie's frequent pop culture references and the lack of technology. Even if Agrabah simply never caught up with the rest of the world in terms of technology, the movie would still have to take place far in the future for the genie to know all of these references. But then again, the genie is literally magic, so
Yes.
who knows?
I've got poison here, but this. Take it, Kronk. Feel the power.
I can feel
What
it.
else?
The Emperor's New
Die.
Groove. What started as a brief, dark joke of the Emperor's New Groove triggered a minor conspiracy theory amongst Disney fans. Cusco is alone in the jungle and visibly afraid. There are alligators, jaguars, and other wild animals that could potentially eat him. To top it all off, a small fly buzzes past him and gets stuck in a spider's web. He frantically screams for someone to help him before the spider emerges and eats him, saying it's too late. Not only is it a reference to Jeff Goldblum's pleas to help him in the 80s horror film The Fly, but it's also even darker than it first appears. While talking animals in Disney
This
films
is gonna
are
be
uncommon, the only other
682.
animal to talk in The Emperor's New Groove was the squirrel.
The sources, you know, the shore creature. You know what I mean, the acid.
Even after Yzma's mad science transformed them. The theory is that both the fly and spider were originally humans and were transformed into arthropods by Yzma. If that's true, then it means we didn't so much witness the cruelty of nature and more a premeditated murder. While it's not the first murder to happen in a Disney film, it definitely is the most disturbing one to think about. Come on,
682, 682.
Now what? Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo is a movie that's really aimed at parents. While the film is entertaining, anger at Nemo when he swims too far away, his journey across the ocean can be seen as bargaining to try to get Nemo back, depression upon seeing Nemo flushed away, and finally he accepts to let go of his hard past. While we doubt that this was ever intended by Disney or Pixar, it's interesting how a character defined by his grief goes through the 5 stages on his journey to save his son.
Good news is I found your hat.
My hat! Oh, thank you. Where'd you find it?
Well, that's the bad news.
Toy Story 2. We're not completely sure if this theory is scary or strangely heartwarming. While it's never been outright stated, fans paid attention to Toy Story 2 when it strongly implies that Andy's mother is the original owner of Jessie. We know from the amount of time Jessie has spent abandoned that Jessie is considerably older than Woody, and she has better knowledge of the toy's own franchise history than Woody ever has. We also know that the young girl that abandoned her frequently wore a hat identical to Jessie's. As a matter of fact, the hat is identical to the one that Andy wears in the first Toy Story movie, with the imprint of where the white band once was. strange that if Andy had a cowboy hat, then he would have tried to get one as much like Woody's as possible. So why would he have Jesse's hat? The question is never really answered. Fans have guessed, however, that the hat may have been passed down to Andy by his mother. If this theory is true, it means not only was Jessie tragically abandoned by Andy's mom, but she also, against all odds, managed to find her way back home, albeit in a more unconventional way.
You were this close to losing your teeth.
This year we're spending Easter outdoors. Happy egg hunting. Big W. Every day's a big day.
The Incredibles. Every Disney movie
That's how we
exists in
joined.
the same world. While we're not going to say how plausible it is, we're going to add a little to the theory. If the Disney world is indeed a thing, then we can't help but notice that all the bad guys seem to be particularly adept with magic. Where do all these evil villains draw upon their power from? Well, we have an idea. Chernobog, the great demon from Slavic mythology that first appears the night on Bald Mountain. Walt Disney himself described Chernobog as pure evil, who would fuel the wicked intent of those around him. So could it be that all the other Disney villains gained their magical powers from the great and terrible Chernobog? He could potentially even control the friends on the other side that gave Dr. Facilier his powers. Maybe the only reason Maleficent can take the form of a dragon is thanks to him. In Slavic folklore, Chernobog is the god of all that is bad. If all the Disney movies take place in the same universe, and Fantasia is included in that, then it stands to reason that Chernobog would keep that role. He is great, powerful, truly terrifying, and just maybe responsible for every bad thing that happens in the Disney world. Well, that's enough of the Dark Fan theories for today. We don't really want to bum ourselves out too much. Were there any that you thought of that we didn't include? If so, comment below.
682. Yo.
Home loans with great rates and low fees. Another reason to bank with Macquarie.
Yeah, buddy, guys.
Listen with Audible. Enjoy audiobooks and exclusive podcasts.
Fuck off, ads.
I will never live here. It's uncomfortable, especially when you're by yourself.
Now that whole time I sat in there, you didn't do that. She passed away right here, sitting in a chair in front of the fireplace. And that chair is right here behind me. Whoa. And if any of that is true, that would leave behind a dark energy in here. Is there something evil down here?
Something crawled across the ceiling and that just didn't seem okay.
I just heard the child laughing. Oh, wow. No, dude. I heard a child laughing and then that SLS figure popped up on there. Once the sun goes down on McIntyre Villa, that's a little bit of a different story.
SAP 62. 682.
We're pulling up on one of the biggest mansions that I've seen in a long time. Yeah, this is a place that is known for paranormal activity and even has had 9 documented deaths. And it is creepy looking. Wow. I feel like this place is going to be really creepy when the sun goes down tonight. I agree with that. Man. Well, we know this place has a presence from the outside.
You want to go inside and see what type of presences we can pick up on in there?
Let's do it. Let's go check it out. Let's do it.
In my opinion, McIntyre Villa is haunted. Mr. McIntyre came from Ireland. I think he arrived in Atchison about 1861. He was a saddle and harness maker. He was also into real estate. Mr. McIntyre's first wife's name was Alice. This house he had built in 1889, finished in 1890 for $14,000. It was built in 1 year. I don't know if it was built fast because his first wife was ill, but his first wife died after 1 year.
It is so cool to be here inside the historic and haunted McIntyre Villa.
It is. This is one of the most beautiful places that I've ever seen. Everything is just immaculate. The place is very creepy, and we've already had some stuff happening.
I do know now that anyone can come through. My dad helped me buy the house 4 years ago, and he comes through.
You better.
So, not to me, but he comes through too. Yes, they've written in the book downstairs that we talked to your dad.
Just die. I know. We've only
Here.
We've only
I just
used it.
mentioned it.
Yeah, we've only used that for like an hour.
Ernie. Where did it die? Where did it die? Well, what turned off? This?
The light behind you.
His urn is right here.
His urn is right beside.
Yeah.
But I just walked through that room, and I just got hit with a big, I don't know what it symbolizes, but a big, like, floral scent just hit me right.
Oh, like fresh cut flowers, kind of.
Fresh cut flowers, exactly.
But the fresh cut flowers isn't that often at all. I've smelled it maybe twice in the 4 years I've had the house.
Really? Was
Yeah.
it in this room?
It was actually in the dining room, and then once in this room.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You better.
That's great.
That is
What are the odds of that? Yeah,
right.
We haven't even started investigating yet. We're already weird activity.
This is why the second floor
166,
is
no.
my favorite. Out of the entire 5,200 square feet, this hallway is my favorite place to investigate.
Nope.
9
9,
confirmed
nope.
deaths inside this house, and possibly
Nope,
other spirits
nope.
and entities that have been known to interact, insult, growl at people who come to visit this building.
I have been told that everyone who has owned and lived in the house has died in the house.
Nope, not 682. 043 or something like that.
Out of the
053
9 deaths
or
that I know so
0,
far
that young
in the
girl
villa,
I'm looking
all of them have
for.
been natural causes except for one, which was Charles Donovan, Mr. McIntyre's
Nope.
second wife's youngest son. He
Nope.
committed suicide October 10th, 1922. Anna's brother, who was a judge in Atchison, moved in. His name was Charles, moved in with his wife.
Nope.
He did not die here, but he is the one that found his nephew Charles after he committed suicide. Anna was Mr. McIntyre's second wife. Her mother, Anna, passed away in 1898. Then Mr. McIntyre passed away of dropsy in 1902. Mrs. McIntyre passed away in 1916. It became a boarding house 1925 to 1952. In that time frame, I've only found one death, and that was a 4-day-old infant.
Here. This is the right one.
After that, Goldie
Yeah.
bought the house, and Goldie, or Isabel Altus, she lived her by herself from 1952 until she passed away in 1969. And then Mr. and Mrs. Girardi, who bought the house from Goldie, they both passed away in the home.
The death that occurred in this room was that of a woman named Isabel Altus, who went by the name Goldie. She passed away right here, sitting in a chair in front of the fireplace. And that chair is right here behind me. The very chair. This is the chair that Goldie, Isabel, passed away in. And if you think of something that could hold energy, that moment in life, literally her transition from life to death to spirit, happened in this chair. So who knows what is attached to this chair? Goldie, if you're here, we don't want you to think we're intruding. We're here to speak to you and speak to the many other people who I'm sure you know live in this house. Stephanie says she could never really live here because of how creepy and haunted this house is. And I'm sure you had experiences when you lived here in the 50s and 60s.
053 053
show up for us, or maybe you can move your chair as we pass. Maybe you can do that
053
for us a little bit later.
SCP-053.
People ask me all the time why I don't live here. I will never live here, and that's not to say that I don't love the house. I love this house. It's uncomfortable, especially when you're by yourself. Whatever is here knows when I'm by myself, and
Yeah, buddy.
it's like game on. There are growls, the footsteps. I wear headphones when I'm here by myself, and I can tune out the footsteps, but I can't tune out the vibration of the footsteps, and it will walk right up to me and just stop.
I think we should save the part of the house that Stephanie believes is most active for last, the basement. So let's head up to the attic.
Let's do it.
The attic used to be what I would tell people is the least active. It never made me uncomfortable. So when I first bought the house, I am a fan of bright colors. So I painted the door red. That was the time I actually knew that the house did not like my dog, or didn't like me painting the door red. My dog was here with me, and she's a 6-pound Yorkie. And she was knocked off of a chair.
Being an Ozclub member means you go in the draw to our Friday freebies. Prizes include car awnings, petrol vouchers, Kai.
Funny as fuck.
That's not creepy or anything.
Pretty much a full-size attic.
It is, yeah. This is huge.
The attic has been really uncomfortable lately. You can feel somebody walking behind you when you leave the attic. You can feel someone walking up behind you, just going into the attic. I have been shushed. Like, a female just put her head right by my head and went shh. Lots of whispering from women. The men, they are loud. I don't know who's in the attic. I have no idea. I have been told, though, there's possibly a hanging in the attic. Either a suicide or
Are you gonna attack
something
her?
like a suicide. No documentation, so I don't know.
Okay.
I've been told his name is David.
You share a name with him, right?
I do. Yes, we have the same name.
Maybe you should spend some time up here and see if you can connect with this David spirit.
Yeah, absolutely.
The basement has 7 rooms. It has the original brick floor in most of the rooms. It's so dark you can't see your hand in front of your face. One of the spirits, or I hate to use things, but I don't know if it's a human or if it was ever a human. If something crawled across the ceiling and that just didn't seem okay. I've been told from multiple people over the 4 years that I've owned the house that there are possibly illegal adoptions, illegal liquor sales, illegal medical procedures on women. I don't have documentation, so I don't know if any of those took place in the basement.
And if any of that is true, that would leave behind a dark energy in here.
Yeah, I mean, with all of that stuff going on down here, allegedly, if any of it were to be true, that would leave behind a lot of dark energy.
So I have this doll, and he's an original Charlie McCarthy doll, which I believe from the early 30s, 1930s. And he's a ventriloquist doll. I think he's super adorable. 99% of the people that come here don't like him. So I happened to put my recorder on the ventriloquist doll, on Charlie, and I said, "Hi, Charlie," and I walked into the other room so we could start asking questions. And we picked up, "My name is Jack." A few months later, 2 gentlemen were here, and they were doing some filming, and they called me up, and they said, "Your doll's name is Jack." I'm like,
And I'm interested to come in here and see exactly what type of paranormal activity we can capture here tonight. to see if these spirits or even these darker entities will come out and speak to us. Who knows? But with the sun going down, I think it's about time to set up for abandonment.
Let's do it. I'm excited to see what this one has in store for us. Hopefully, we will catch that thing crawling across the ceiling.
That would be amazing. So yeah, let's set up cameras on every single floor. Set up all the equipment that we can, and leave the house for an hour. Find out what happens in McIntyre Villa when it's completely empty. In McIntyre Villa when it's completely empty. When it's completely empty. Alright, so we are getting ready to leave the house. We have 4 cameras set up throughout. On the first level above our heads, we have an action cam covering as much possible area as we can. There are motion sensors, 4 of them on that.
Who joined? Yeah, buddy. Yo.
Access to a wide range of assets and highly competitive spreads with Pepperstone.
Is there someone in that bathroom? This is audio session. Look, it's pegging all the way. We're not even set up yet. We're trying to place equipment. And we had the idea to put that REM pod in the bathroom.
The end hallway bathroom down here is the most active. A lot of people don't want to use it. And I tell people, I'm not sure which room Charles committed suicide in. In my opinion, I think it's either the library or it's when the 2 bathrooms were one room. I personally think it's when the 2 bathrooms were one room.
Wow. Charles, if that's you, can you step back, please? Dude.
There.
Charles, if that is the bathroom, or if that is the room where you lost your life, can you touch it again for us?
Stephanie said that you've slammed doors in there, the cabinet doors.
you slammed the cabinet doors? Is this the little kid? The little girl that people see and hear laughing up here all the time? Or is this Charles? Tell you what. What? I'm covered in chills, and my left side is freezing cold. Who is standing right beside Dave? Is that Goldie or is it Alice? Oh, I feel that now. The cold's moved down to me. Really? Yeah. Yeah, it's like I felt it was like it wasn't a breeze, it was just a moving, like a slow moving mass of air that just came in. It was colder. Oh wow. Actually, what? It feels very cold right here. Yeah. That's just where I was standing. If you really want to, you can move stuff. We'd love to see it. I'll tell you what, once the sun goes down on McIntyre Villa, it's a little bit of a different story in here. Yeah. You can do it. Shut one of the doors for us. Who was making that red light go off in the bathroom there? This is Dave Ryan, first session, McIntyre Villa. I'm gonna come down and set this orange light in the bathroom, in this room here to the right. Move, Dave? Huh? Can you move? I thought I just saw, like, a shadow movement right here on the wall. Really? Yeah. You wanna head in there for a minute? Yeah. I thought I saw movement within this light right here on the wall. Yeah, I don't know what that would have been. Stephanie did give us permission to be in here tonight to talk to you. We might not have introduced ourselves. My name is Dave, and this is Ryan.
The cost.
And we're just here trying to communicate with you in your house. So if you could communicate back by touching that red light in the bathroom, could you do it now? Right on the sink. It would also be cool to see something fly off the mantle in here like it has before. Do you want to sit in the library? I can. I know you said you felt uncomfortable in the library. What if I went down here to this far back right-hand room and you went into the library here? Okay. Little split, a little, whoa. Hello? Huh. That's weird. Are you waiting for Dave? All right, well, here I am. like to say that neither one of us mean anybody here any harm. We're pretty nice guys. We just wanted to come here and talk to you. Is that okay? If it is, you can light that up. Charles? Charles, if you're in here, can you tell us, please, what happened to you? Don't be afraid to talk to us. Somebody was here earlier. Oh. That was me. I don't feel anything in this room back here. I don't either. Somebody was really making that red light go off down there in the bathroom. Why did you quit? Now that whole time I sat in there, you didn't do that. Well, you want to pack this stuff up or break this stuff down? Try something else. Yeah, I think we should try and cover as much area as we can while staying. I think we should try and cover as much area as we can while staying. I think we should try and cover as much area as we can while staying. I think we should try and cover as much area as we can without being too close to one another. So I think the best plan of action would be for one of us to go to the attic and one of us to go to the basement. Maybe splitting up and us being alone, they'll feel more comfortable to come out and talk to us.
What SCP would this be?
Lock across the door when I go down here? Yes. Just what I've always wanted. To lock you in the
SCP-601. Yeah.
Have fun in the attic.
SCP-601. Good idea. SCP-601. SCP-601. SCP-601.
He is not coming out.
SCP-601.
Alright guys, we are heading up to the attic.
SCP-601.
We're gonna see what happens for us up here.
If you try it, I dare you. You'll get killed.
That was me.
Try it. Go on. Try it.
Okay, Dave rolling. This is Attic Solo. Got an action cam set up there, REM pod over there. Whoa. Hello? Of course, the camcorder stopped going. Alright guys, Dave here in the attic. Ryan is down in the basement.
Yeah, buddy.
The REM pod was going off there just a second ago, but I missed it on this camera. Okay. Whoa. step in front of that again for me?
SCP-601.
I just had the motion sensor go off for no reason. It's the first time that motion sensor's gone off all night long. So my name is Dave, and I'm up here by myself. I came up to talk to you. Is there anybody up here with me? Is there somebody else other than myself up here named David? If there is, there's a bright red light right here in front of me.